Hello,
Gonna be
everyone.
alive. Yeah. Go ahead, Bernaz. That's good.
Thank you.
Yeah, welcome. This is the Esoteric New York, and we are very happy to have Meher and Jackie Korth this evening for some astrological wisdom from Meher and then some spirit-led readings from Jackie. So, welcome.
Thank you,
The floor is
Scott.
yours.
Okay. Thank you, everyone, for attending this evening, and thank you for spending this full moon evening with us. My name is Meher. I primarily work with astrology and numerology and the Akashic Records, and specialize in creating soul blueprints and also clearing the Akash. And then I'm going to be doing a talk about the current energies of the full moon this time, which of course applies to all of you. It doesn't matter what your star sign, this is a general forecast about what is going on. And after that, we have Jackie Korth, who is a fantastic medium, and she will be taking on some of you and giving individual readings because full moons are always so potent for. Bringing in the reading. So thank you for joining. All right, let's get on with it. So the full moon is occurring at 2:17 p.m. Eastern um, time on the 28th, which is tomorrow. And this particular full moon, the full moon is when the sun and the moon are opposite to each other. And this particular full moon is in the sign of Leo. Now, most of you here are already advanced and probably already aware of how full moons work. The moon cycles are always affecting us more profoundly than we think, because the moon is directly affecting our intuition and our mind. And new moons are always about a new cycle beginning. And by the time we go in full circle, the full moons are all about release and letting go. Now, I have to say that the last couple of full moons, starting from the solstice, have been way more intense, and this seems like the final rinse cycle of that full moon, and it has that sense of finality to it. But we have already gone through some very deep purging phases because we had Mercury and Pluto, which is the planet that rules our mind, which was influenced by complete transformation. And the solstice was at 1 degree Aquarius, bringing in the essence of the Aquarian age in a very potent way. And that started this cycle and this process of purging and rebirth, which continues on. And once again, we are at this full moon beginning time, and of course, whatever it's as above so below, as within so without, whatever is happening internally is also reflected externally, whether it's on the political scene, and we all know what's been happening there. So it always coincides because it is the way the movement of the energy is happening because of the influence of the planets. So this full moon is in Leo. Now, actually, because of that, we have a sense of lightness around around this full moon compared to what was happening, and there is a lot going on. So don't get me wrong, that it's not that the intensity of whatever we're experiencing is necessarily released, but the processing is more or less complete, and that completion is reflected by Leo, because Leo is the sign of life force, and the moon is shining its full light in the sign of raw energy, life force, creation, a love of life, and that literally brings any kind of creation in existence. There's a beautiful saying that we're not uh, human doings, we're human beings, and it is really about just being at some points in time. And this full moon, more so than ever, is that time of just being, and really looking at what is coming in your field of experience and responding to it, rather than trying to go after anything that that you're trying to create. As far as uh, being alive and being full, really being full with the life that is coming to you, and working through that life and creating through whatever is coming into your field. um, and that'll happen when you're completely in your center and in your being. Now, Leo does have its shadow side. So Leo also is about the ego and being egocentric, and me, and me versus you, and so on and so forth. So there is that egocentric side of Leo, and of course that is also being reflected in our political environment and all of that, where it is like which side to pick, and all of that. And that does exist. But what the full moon is trying to tell us is that when we are aligned more so to the creation aspect, to the being aspect, and Leo is also very generous. So it is all about sharing in community and bringing things in, and the raw process of creation. So if you're more focused on that, that would align you better than being focused on that ego driven aspect of Leo. So more about shining forth, giving birth to something that you're in the process of giving birth, being courageous, and so on and so forth. Now, why is it so important about what we're focusing on right now? Is because Jupiter is conjunct the sun, which is opposite the full moon in Leo right now. So Jupiter, which is bringing in, which always brings in fortune and luck and justice and growth and expansion, is conjunct the sun, which is shining light, and so it can create a very high potential for joy, and expand everything that you are touching at this point. And which is why it's very important what you're focusing on at this point, because if it is your creation that you're focusing on, then that is what's going to expand. But if you're focused on anything else, then those thoughts are also going to expand. So that is a very important piece right now. Whatever you're focusing on right now is going to kind of get bigger. So what are you focusing on? And Leo also does govern the house of love and on romance and all of that. So Leo brings in also the energy of love and the manifestation of it, and so that is another piece that you want to focus on in terms of manifesting or creating, or if that is something that you want to attract in your life. And just really being aligned with the generosity of Leo, the raw beingness of Leo, will help you engage with that. Now, why am I talking about focusing so much on the being parts? That's not just because of the Leo, but we have another a slightly heavy square going on. It's actually a T-square. So Uranus, the planet of sudden change, and Mars, which always brings in a little bit of shaking. We all know what Mars does, is making a T-square with the sun and the moon in the fixed sign of Taurus. So there is a giant shadow side to this if you focus on it. There is a lot of change and aggression that's almost happening within Taurus, and Taurus is fixed earth. It's almost like an earthquake like energy, whether it's happening inside or out. And that energy, if we're focused on the downsides of Uranus, which is change for the sake of creating change, or Mars, which is kind of conflict for the sake of conflict, and all of those things can expand. But if you are more tapped in more to the side of Uranus, which is more about bringing in inspiration and that sudden light bulb like effect, which is usually tapping into the superconscious mind and getting in an idea, which you can then channel with the creation of Leo instead, and utilizing that energy of Mars to go forth with that idea and shine your light, that would be a better way to utilize this energy, because otherwise there can be a very strong me versus you effect with this, as we're seeing in the external world. And so we're talking about breaking free of the old belief systems, because as the sun is as the moon is in Leo, the sun is in Aquarius, and the Aquarian age is all about bringing in and breaking free of old paradigms. So we're breaking free out of old belief systems, which is governed by Jupiter, your belief systems, the shadow side of the masculine, all fear-based decision making, saying yes to your internal soul and what it is talking to you through the energy of Leo, and then that's the best way to neutralize this T-square. So just watch for signs, what is coming in your field, and then just follow through those signs and avoid any additional distractions, because with Jupiter being in the mix, sometimes it also expands any kinds of distractions, addictions, pleasure, and all of that. So, instead of focusing on the distractions or using the Mars energy to what am I getting next and any of that, just really focus on what is really coming into your field and just working with that piece. And then how can you make the most of what is already happening? The change has already been set in motion. You have already processed it through the Pluto transit. You have already come almost out on the other side of it, and now you're focusing on, as this is releasing, what is coming into the being, what is coming into the flow, and how do you focus on that flow, and just really honoring what is showing up and really engaging in just living life to the fullest, which is again the energy of Leo. And as the earth around you is shaking or has already shaken and you're moving forward, right? So Jupiter again is throwing light into moving through this energy without again overextending, but using its expansion. So there are some great things. I always love the Leo full moons, because it's actually a good time to party. It's a good time for friendships and cheer and kind of bringing in that lightness of connection, and also a great time to really shine your light. Not just creating, but expanding your creation, making new connections, and following and flowing with life the way it is coming in, and that is going to help you navigate this heavier T-square. So we have a couple of more things going on. We have the moon trine Chiron. And the moon again is our deepest emotions, and Chiron, known as the wounded healer, is the asteroid that brings in intense healing, but it is always through an experience that the growth comes in. Chiron always learns first and then teaches what it has learned. So as the moon is trining Chiron, there is so much healing that is coming through. So healing that for whatever period has passed, healing that is currently still happening, but the healing isn't complete yet. The shaking up is complete and the healing is in process, and that is the energy of the time. So, and this is why they're asking you that despite all the distractions or the gung-ho that Mars is bringing, just be, and just be in your silence, because the healing is still continuing and it is a process. It always is a process, and giving yourself the time through that process, and then just waiting to see what is showing up, because as you have transformed inside and out, that always reflects in your outside world, and that external world is reflecting that and bringing you what is more in alignment with your current newly transformed selves. We now have also Venus, which still is conjunct Pluto. So our planet of love and friendship and even finances and things we value is still conjunct Pluto, which always brings complete transformation. It's interesting because even the chart of the US is going through a Pluto transit. So that is why whatever is happening is happening. It's a complete rebirth. So while Venus is conjunct Pluto, you are going to go through a transformation in your relationships, whether it is your personal relationships, your friendships, your partnerships. All of that is going through a complete transformation. And the thing to keep in mind again is, as Leo reminds you to center and kind of preserve the self, because Leo is the ego and it is reminding you to preserve the self. But at the same time, it is so important to understand that it is through what you give is what always comes back. Everything is a reflection. Everything is a flow. We are all in this together. So just, as you act through the generosity of heart of Leo, as you act through your full open heart, really leading through your heart, is what Leo's teaching is about, and not so much your mind, not so much your ego, but opening your heart and leading through it, speaking your mind with in its completion, and really opening up and talking about whatever is in your heart. That is what will transform your friendships and your relationships. And you may decide to kind of keep what benefits you and release what does not benefit you in the process. But just remember to make that decision from your heart and not from your mind. And that is the transformation that is happening through Venus. And to navigate that, use Leo's light and decide from your heart, because that is really what relationships are all about. They are, if they're not heart-centered, there really isn't much to them. So this is why during the Leo full moon, you may be more inspired to act on and kind of feel through which ones are more heart inspired and which ones aren't, and then decide what you want to let into your field and what you may not want to let in your field. So so that is the Venus conjunct Pluto, and it is a deep experience, because Pluto really brings great transformation, but it is not without the death that the rebirth happens. So whatever is dying and going, let it go. Whatever is new and coming, let it come. And that is what I mean by just being and observing and letting it in, and just opening your heart to what's coming in, using your discernment to not get dragged in with the Uranus T square, and really don't try to bring in change for the sake of change, and don't try to use force for the sake of force, and that is a giant message for this T-square, because this particular T-square could, if be destructive if veered that way, especially because Leo also can get into the egocentric mode. So neutralize this and watch for the signs, and definitely claim your freedom in the process, because Aquarius, where the sun is shining, and the entire Aquarian age, the times that we're going into, is talking about everything. It talks about is what is aligned to your heart. Be free with what is aligned to your heart, and whatever is not aligned, shift that out of your field, and that is how we get aligned into the Aquarian age. Look what's happened the entire last year. Everybody started using the time that they had to create so much that was dear to their hearts, because they finally found the time to do that. And this is the movement towards the age of the Aquarius. It is the sovereignty that we're claiming to absolutely be who we are and do what we love, and releasing any other dogma, any other old structures and systems that stop you from doing that. And that is what the theme of this coming year will continue to flow into. So that energy of Leo is to be used towards your sovereignty, your freedom, and your and living from your heart center, which is the most important message that Leo brings. And so shine your light, create, party, love, manifest, bring in all those beautiful things, and continue to release what does not serve. Like in every other full moon, I always recommend the practice of writing down whatever isn't serving you, and then seeing it get destroyed, whether you safely burn it or tear it apart, and see it go, because that will bring it from your subconscious to your conscious mind, in order to release it completely. And you are sending a very direct and clear message to the universe that I am now releasing this, and I do not want any of this in my life. Any of this drama, any of this, or anything that is not serving. Ideas, belief systems, situations, people, anything that you need to release. Just do not act out of the aggression of Mars. Use your discretion as you do that. So I think this is pretty much what I had for the forecast. And Scott, if you want to bring up Jackie, and she is wonderful. She's going to pick some of you and do some personal readings, and I swear by her, she's wonderful.
Hello, everyone. That was really awesome. I have to tell you, Meher, one of the things that I do want to say about what Meher was talking about, she had given me some information prior, and man, is she spot on. That manifesting thing is really working really well for me, so thank you. So we're going to go ahead and do some readings. But before we start, just a couple of things. I had some gentleman here earlier, and I'm trying to get him back. But I want you to remember the name Wayne, because I kept hearing Wayne. So we're just hoping he'll come back. But we're just going to go ahead and start asking some questions or some guidance that you guys may have in relation to really anything. So, and I bet you I cut off Scott. Scott was probably going to say something, but sorry about that. I was so patiently waiting to get on. Okay, so who? Okay, so good.
I just want to say, if anyone wants to be brought on, I will just indicate it in the chat, and I'll bring you on. Okay, thanks.
Okay, so who would like a reading? Yeah, Meher, she rocks. I love it. Okay, so let's I do, but I don't want to be brought on. Okay, no worries. Okay, so let's go ahead and Shanna Witt, if we, do you want to be brought on? I think we'll just go ahead and bring her on. I don't think she, Scott, can you bring on Sheena? So Sheena, what would your question be, my love? There you are.
I'm like, oh, sorry.
Surprise!
Surprise!
So what question do you have for me?
I have been struggling with whether to build a home or not.
Okay. Okay. So, well, first and foremost, when we're in this place of manifesting or moving forward in what we want, the one thing that I will tell you is, what was the first thought that came to mind before I pull a card? What was the first thought you had about building? Because they're telling me you already know what you want to do. You're just looking for some
Yeah, I know I
confirmation.
want to. Yeah, definitely.
So what would stop you from creating that move? What would stop you from making that move?
The money.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, okay, let me just see if we got timing here. Interesting. So, timing is a big thing with this, but I feel like there's one more move. They're showing me one more move. Are you guys thinking about moving in a different area or across town? Is that where you're looking?
Yeah. So we want
Okay.
to stay in the area that we are, but all the lots are out of town.
Further.
Like
Okay.
further, yeah.
Because part of what's happening is your timing element, I feel like it's more towards the end of the year, but there's one thing that you have to really work on is your belief in scarcity. So when you bring that energy in, so what that means is not enough. We don't have enough money. We don't have this, right? What you put out to the universe is what you bring back. So when you're in that belief of scarcity, you no longer nurture abundance. So you have to start putting abundance in. You have to look at that house as like it's already being built, like it's yours. Because the hard part is when you put so much energy in what you don't have, you just create more of that. Makes sense?
Yeah, it does.
So what I do see though is I see like for whatever reason I feel like another move or something else is like another move, but there is something towards October or the latter part of the year.
Okay.
So either that is where you're moving out, you're moving into some place until something is done, or October timeframe is what I really see.
Okay.
What was the other thing? So let me just pull one more thing for you. So the other thing is, just keep removing the blocks of scarcity and not enough, because it seems like it's moving in other parts of your life, not just your house. So keep working on that towards the abundance mindset. Just keep putting it in there like I already have it. Like I always like doing the crazy stuff like, yeah, I've got, 100,000 in the bank and it's just sitting there waiting for me. So I just keep adding that energy. I put that energy out there and it just let it flow to you. Just let it flow. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, let's see. Who did we have after Sheena? I think there was somebody after Sheena. Dawn Marie. Could we have Dawn Marie come on down? You're the next contestant. Dawn Marie. She's coming.
I'm
Hello.
sorry. Hi, I'm sorry. I had ACL surgery last week, so I'm out of sorts. Yeah, sorry.
Oh, no worries. If you don't mind being brought on. So what can
Whatever.
I help you with, dear?
I'm just looking for. I have a couple of legal lawsuits that I'm waiting for closure, and
Okay.
I'm just looking for a timeline where these can start to settle. So financially, prosperity, I can just be done with this chapter.
Okay.
And close it out and move on.
All right. So something comes up of not giving energy to false information. How would you relate to that?
Not giving
Energy to false information.
I think I could relate by I was a case that I was sexually assaulted by the salesperson who I bought my car from. The person that I told ended up lying to the police and made up lies of things that I never said to protect her boyfriend, who was the finance manager. So I think that might have something to do.
Okay.
But I had a deposition to carry through with that and explain my side and my proof.
Okay.
If that might make sense to that question.
It does. I think the other part is not what that's telling me is that there's something that you're dwelling on or that you're giving energy to, and whatever that false information is, you know the truth, so don't put any more energy in it. Don't give it life. I always say, you know, when you start feeding the beast, that means that you're just giving that lie more energy. So just trust in the process and trust in yourself.
Yeah, I think it's hard because the deposition that I had with the attorney knew that I was a witch, and he made fun of me during the deposition. So I'm still a little pissed off, to be honest with you, and I'm just dealing with what happened, knowing the truth, but just knowing how I've been treated as I'm the victim, but I'm being treated as a person that I can't even explain. I'm just really ticked off about it. So my energy's been off with it, if you know what I mean.
I do. And what I will say to you is, right, in no matter what type of work that you do, any energy work, spiritual work, whatever that is, right, we will always have people that won't align to what we do or have any compassion for us because they already put a judgment out there on us. But what you can do is you can keep your energy clear, because when you give that energy to the false information, a non-truth, you're creating a belief, or you're creating that negative energy that pushes your energy down. And then that's when chaos starts coming in. That's when things don't start to flow properly, because now you no longer have that compassion through the process for yourself. So not only compassion for you, but what they have to say and what their energy is what they own, not what you own. So don't put life to that energy and start creating a belief or an environment or some negative energy that hangs with you, because you're feeding it. You're feeding the beast. You're giving it life. So don't do it. That's what that meant. Okay. Okay. So let's see if we can find. Okay. So do we have a timeline? Okay. You know, I hear the word slow, and I think part of that has to fall around what is going on in our country. So it affects so many different things. And yeah, you know, what I'm really seeing is something, and I say slight movement. It doesn't mean that there won't be any bigger changes, but I see something pushing like to August. I feel like there are some things that are going on that have to be re-looked at or re-examined. If I feel like there's going to be a change in someone during all of this, like there's a change somewhere. And I don't know if that's within the process or within who is representing or something, but it makes me feel like somebody has to re-examine something. But, it's telling me, just stick with it, go the distance, because you will prevail. The truth will come out. And I feel that right now there's a lot of start, go, and it's frustrating. But I also feel that whatever this changes or whoever is going to change within this case, it will be a positive thing. So there's something that has to change, but there's something right around August, I feel, that will make a difference for you. But they really make me feel, though, that you have to keep going. Let go of the garbage. Let go of the silliness, right? Put your energy in towards the positive and how you can help yourself versus the garbage, right?
Yeah. It's a little. I'm driving the vehicle that I was assaulted in, so every day that I drive into it, it's just a reminder, and it's just a dagger, and it's just. Really
have you thought of just having, even the vehicle cleared, having somebody come in and do some energy clearing on that?
I've cleared it. I've done what I could do on it. I mean, I could probably have somebody do it, but it doesn't, to be honest with you, it doesn't matter how much clearing anybody can do. It's what happened to me in that vehicle that I will never forget. And I drive into Boston as a property manager. I'm constantly in my car. So my car is like my second home. So it's just not that easy. Is there any way
of moving the car or getting rid of the car?
No, I wish. He put me so far upside down in the car, I can't even get out of it. So yeah, it's just,
I'm sorry
something
about that.
It's okay. It's just something I have to work through, but I just wanted to get some confirmation from somebody.
Yeah, I would say, look around sometime in August, but again, don't put so much energy into the negativity, because I think that slows you down from an energy perspective.
Okay.
And that just starts to create some chaos. Okay.
All right. Awesome.
All right.
Thank you. I really appreciate your time.
Good luck. You're
Thank
welcome.
You. Bye.
Bye-bye. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna make sure. Okay, good. Let's see. We had Dawn Marie. I do, but I don't want to be brought on. Okay, Annie, if you could send a question, I'll watch for it, but I'll bring somebody else. Oh, wait, I think you did a question. Where is it? You're welcome. Later, Culver. Okay. Annie, if you could send the question. Oh, a general reading. Well, there you go. Okay. I absolutely can do that. Okay. So let me see, Miss Annie. Ooh, okay. So we're going to look at a surrender card for you first. Ooh. Okay, so I'm going to pull some other cards. Okay, Annie. So they're talking a little bit about some rigidness. So let me say that there are some things that you're working on or things that need to be let go. And part of that falls within always needing to be right. Now, I don't mean that in like, I'm always right. It's always about me type thing, but it is that sense and that security within us that we have to somehow make ourselves feel better by always making sure that everything is right, that everything needs to be correct, even from others as well as myself. So it's an added energy of pressure that you put on yourself And it just introduces additional conflict as well. So I am going to assume that you deal within the spiritual world, because some of the cards that I'm pulling right now lead me to believe that you do some heavy spiritual work. And that you dabble a lot in the dream world. So to me, that means that you either see signs, or you can look at things and get the readings from it. So more of the psychometry, but you use a different element, or you bring something in to help you get that information. Interesting enough that things are going to change a little bit more for you. There's something that is purging for you that you're making room for. And I feel that there's something about the work that you do. Something is changing within that work. And there's some messages that are coming through. And I feel that now is the time to make this change, because whatever you're working towards, or whatever is coming for you, not coming for you, but something is coming into your energy that's going to help your work. So either it's going to blow up more, or there's something more that's coming. And it feels very much so on the spiritual realm. So I'm not sure what you do, but I can tell you this is really good. So whatever this is, I feel that it will be lifted. There will be something very rewarding that's coming into your energy. So stay tuned for that. And the timing for that, yeah, it is just all around. It shows me rebirth, reborn. It shows me, it's like, seeing a phoenix coming out of the ashes. I just feel like whatever this is, it's going to be very big for you. But it doesn't give me a concrete timeline, but I do feel like it is in this year. And based on the cards, I feel like some of this is already developing. And I hope you understand that. So we're working towards moving back east. Do not work. I'm Phoenix, so would love to get out of Phoenix. Annie, do you do anything in the spiritual world? Do you do anything that falls within the spiritual world? Because boy, you've got cards that are insane. An empath. I do feel that your new life, the things that you want will happen. You've got some big energy shifts coming up. And there are some things that whatever you're doing, or however this works within the spiritual world, it's going to help you. But you've been getting signs. You definitely have been getting signs. So stay tuned. Hold on tight, because you got some good stuff coming. Thank you. Okay. So, you're so welcome, Annie. Thank you. Okay. So, Okay. All right. I'm kind of, let's see, there's Annie. Okay. All right. Sorry, guys. I'm just going down to make sure I'm not missing anyone. Okay. Can you please? Okay. So is there any, also, if you want to do a soul loss retrieval work for the trauma, is there anybody else that would like a reading? I think I am. Okay. Christina. I think you were the next one. Could you bring on Christina, please? feel like the price is right. This is so funny. Sorry, my allergies are kidding. It's not too late. Yep, Christina, we're just waiting for Scott will bring you on. Yay! Okay. Okay. Thank you, Scott.
Hi.
Hello. How are you, love?
Good, how are you?
Good, good, good. So what can I do for you today? What can I help you with?
I'd like a general reading. But yeah.
Okay. All right. So just checking your energy here for something, because it's talking about your happiness. And so I'm going to say this to you, and then you can just take whatever, run it through your heart, take whatever you feel makes sense to you.
Okay.
Happiness is part of our reality. And when we choose to bring it in, we can have it. But when we choose not to, or when we take a choice in the moment to say, I want to bring happiness in my life, then we open our heart to bringing it in, instead of doing this and then just worrying about, you know, somebody else trying to tear down that wall or somebody else trying to hurt me. Instead, we have to be in the moment to bring our happiness into our reality now, because there are so many people out there that open, embrace love. But sometimes when, again, we put that energy into things that bother us or anger us or the wrong people, right? We create that cycle, then we just attract more. But it's time for you to look at your boundaries, because your boundaries are really blurry. So when you have blurry boundaries, that means that it's easy for people to walk on them and to do the same things over and over. So what I say to you, my love, is that put those clear boundaries up. Start looking at what you want to bring in, but choose your happiness based on what you want, not what everybody else wants, not trying to make somebody else happy, to make yourself happy. Okay?
Yeah. I let my whole social media go because I was kind of mothering everyone. So I have been working on the boundaries. It's really difficult because I'm extremely empathic, and that has been very good for other people, but not really like great for me.
Well, you know what happens, you know, a lot of it is when they choose to give you their garbage, right? But what you have to do is, right, everything is energy. Words and thoughts are energy. So when you put up, you know, even if you shield yourself, right? You know, you're thinking, I always tell people, think of Glinda the Good Witch from Wizard of Oz, because that's the easiest about thinking about this bubble, right? So you think about this bubble that wraps around you, only love and light in and love and light out. Because when you do that, you're energetically, even if you just imagine your hand going like this, because, you know, the hard thing with an empath is you always want to fix it. You want everybody to have a good, happy life. That's wonderful. It's kind. It's good to have that. But it also, we have to remember that if we don't let someone live their life, good or bad, as long as it's not in a dangerous situation, but good or bad, they have to figure it out. And you can't always fix it, because if you do, you take away from their journey. You take away from their learning. So then it takes them a long time to get to the point where they understand where their path is. So it's not a bad thing. It's just a thing that we have to remember to do, is just to set up those clear boundaries and just to say, hey, you know, this is their life. They have to deal with that. But for you, it's very much so the clear boundaries. Okay, so let me just pull something for you quick. I need this deck. Okay. Also tonight, somebody is going to get a deck of my affirmation cards. So I'll make sure I send Scott the name, and then we'll get the address for the person, and I'll make sure I get that mailed out to them. So, so here's your affirmation that I pulled, and it states, I release all fear that stands in my way of creating my happily ever after. So that's a very fitting card for you tonight. Okay. Okay. All right. So okay. Christina, I lost you, and I'm sorry. I'm not sure why I lost you, but, you know, please know that I send you love and light. Love, empaths. You always want to fix the world. Okay, so Erica. Oh, good. We're good on time yet. So Erica, you want a general reading? And if we can bring up Erica, not on camera. Erica doesn't want to be on camera. Okay. Okay, Erica. Let me, okay, so what does she need to release? Okay. So what I am getting, actually, Erica, for you is the word trust. And is that for her? It was intended for that. So trust that things are working as they're intended. I know that probably towards the end of last year, it feels like things have been just kind of wavy for you, just up and down, up and down. But again, you know, it's really hard because there's been so much going on in our world, and so many of you are empathic. I mean, a lot of you are empaths that are on here tonight because I can feel your energy. So a lot of what you feel sometimes is not yours. And what I tell people is to really ask yourself, is this what I'm feeling, or is this something that I'm feeling from someone else? Because you'd be surprised that you get up in the morning, you feel great, and then by midday, you want to just chew on some nails. And it's because of sometimes we don't do enough to shield ourselves, for one. We don't do enough of the energy work. You know, not all healers can heal themselves. So I know people would like to think they can, but you can't, because you put in your energy what you think needs to happen. And sometimes when you go to other healers, or you go to other light workers, or people who do energy work, right, they pick up on things that you may not. So sometimes what I would say to you is really to look at that, Erica, and look at, you know, some energy work, but look at trusting, because I know things don't always work fast enough for you, but trust that it's working the way it's intended. So you need to know that. What can she do to help herself move forward? Oh, let's see. Ooh. Surrender to silence. I always love that one, because what that means is, what it's trying to do is have you take a step back, take a deep breath, and just let things flow. Just let them flow. Don't try to force it. Just let it flow, because it's working the way it's intended. Okay, I'll leave you with that. Okay. Brooke. See, I would like a general reading this year. Okay, all right, Brooke Fink. Not on camera either, I think. Okay, you would love, okay, I think Brooke is fine to be on camera, but if we don't get her up, that's okay too. Do you have a question for me, Brooke, or do you want just a general reading?
Hi.
Oh, hi, Brooke.
Hi.
It's Brooke. Brooke, how are you?
I'm good. Don't mind
Well,
my
thank
hair.
you
I
for
just
joining
worked
us.
out.
Just beautiful. Well, yeah, I wish I could say I could work out. What would
Just
you like to
started
know,
again
my love?
before. General would be awesome.
Okay. So we are going to, okay, so well, interesting. Okay. Boy, it's funny how a lot of you are on the same page. Yours is really respecting the process. So, so when I say respecting the process, it's also respecting yourself through that process and giving yourself some compassion. And know that when things are moving in the direction they are, that you have to really take a step back to say, what does this mean to me? You know, why, what do I need to learn through this process so I can move forward? Because I feel like there are things that are in your head that are going, I'm going this way, I'm going that way. And it's just time to take a deep breath and say, this is what I want. But there's a lot of emotional things that are coming forward. But I believe this is just part of the process of what we've been going through. And what Meher was actually talking about is some of the things, yeah, it's interesting. The surrender card is surrendering to spirit. So obviously it's telling you to do more work that you probably have not been doing. So, and it's looking at calling in your guides and looking at your spiritual, I always call it the spiritual army, right? Calling them in to help you with some of these decisions. Because I think you forget how guided you really are and how these things are coming forward for you for a reason. But the respect for yourself in the process, there's a lot of the judgment piece that stands in your way of creating what you want to create. So, what can she do? Slow and steady. So it's moving forward, understanding some of these things that you're going through and what you're learning, but just let it, don't force it. Just don't force it. Just keep moving forward and use your spirit army. Use your guide, use your angels, bring them in. Let them help guide you. Because to me, the card that I pulled was the clock. So, it's time. It's time. I feel like you've been putting it off and now it's time to move forward. Make sense?
Yep. Yeah.
All right.
Absolutely.
Anything else you would like to know?
No, because you kind of answered it. Because I really wanted to say I want to do more work. I want to do more light work. And I didn't know if I was blocking myself, if there's something that I need to let go or whatever that's holding me back. But it just kind of sounds like myself, and I just need to go with it.
You're working through the process, but let those things come up that you're feeling. And then just ask what you need to know so you can move through that process a lot smoother and just slow and steady. Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
So we are at 59 minutes, 14 seconds.
Do we have time for one more quick question? We have one from Lynn Pacifico.
Yes.
I don't know if you can see it in the questions. She's been living on savings, but would like to begin earning again. I don't know if you can see it. I began preparations for a new business, but my oracle said it will not work for me now. Where should I put my energy as far as moving forward professionally?
Okay. right. I don't see her question, but I think you read
It's
it
actually in the
eloquently.
questions. Yeah. So.
Okay. So let me see, first and foremost. So, you know, what I want to say about the question that you have is I know you had an oracle reading, and it may not be in the cards for you now, but the one thing that I would ask is to yourself with your business, just because I know there's a lot going on, what do you feel? Because when we give guidance, you have to understand that your power is stronger to look beyond the information that we give you. So when I look at where you should put your energy, I'm looking at trusting a little bit in yourself, because you have to trust that you understand the direction that you need to go. Self-healing and trusting and opening up to the universe is critical right now. And I've told this to people before. When you put your energy in all the things now that you can't have, and you're looking at the things that aren't going to happen and when will they happen, when's the right time, you have to trust that you understand that, and you have to start building up more of your intuition. So building up that intuition is letting go of some of those chains that are holding you back. So really, to understand your business and why it's not the time or what's not working, you know what? The number one word that comes up in your energy is fear. The fear of failing, the fear of not moving forward, fear, fear, fear. And I will tell you that to be in the game of life, is to take those chances. Whether we fail or we don't fail, it's all a part of the learning process. So what I would do is start focusing your energy on you and trusting more of this process of what you need to do, what you want to do, and putting that energy in that. Not in the energy of it's not time, you know, when is the right time? You need to focus your energy on trust and your intuition. And what I would like you to do, if you can, I want you to reach out to me, because there's something else I want to talk to you about, and we're going to go way too long, but I'd like to talk to you about something else that's coming up in your energy. Okay. So I think that's it. I think we're over the time. We're going to pick a winner. Scott, can you pick a winner of the cards? Can you just do that?
I can do it randomly. Sure. Let me see.
Yeah, you pick out somebody, and then they can get you their address.
Sure. Okay. Kim White. That's who I just.
Okay.
Sure.
I actually think Kim White has a deck.
Oh, okay.
So can you pick one more?
Yeah, I'll do it randomly. Let me see. 1 second. Shanna.
Okay. Perfect.
Cool.
If
Excellent.
Shanna can get you her address. And thank you all for joining us tonight, and I appreciate your time.
Yes. Okay. Well, thank you very much. It's been a beautiful evening to you, and for Meher and yourself. It was a great evening. I thank you very much, and we hope to see you again soon. Okay. Good night. Take care. Bye-bye.
Good night.